Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Game Week 21 of Championship Predictions. How is everyone doing? Let us know in the comments right now. Who's in the stream? How your day's gone? We want to hear it. And also, if you're watching this as a video afterwards, also let us know all that, as well as your predictions. Now, Beastly Ollie, welcome to the stream, pal. How you doing?
Yes, not bad, thanks, Nick. Still in a bad mood. I think if we're talking about football, I'm still going to be a bit grumpy. But other than that, yeah, it's been generally a good week, and I've got some annual leave coming up next week, which I'm looking forward to, which will be nice.
Oh, fantastic! And this is actually our last video for some weeks now, isn't it?
Yeah. When is it that we're back? Sometime around Boxing Day. Is it a bit before that?
Bit before that. I think it's a week before that. Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe Premier League's back Boxing Day and we're back week before. We might be back around semi-final time. So let's hope Senegal don't make it.
Yeah. It might not even get in. It might not even get in, people are saying on Twitter and stuff. So we'll have to see if Illivan and I does, in fact, get into the Senegal squad. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Championship predictions. And I'll pop on screen the results from last week. I don't want to do this.
Don't do it.
Look how embarrassing that is.
Yeah, we have not covered ourselves in glory. Yeah, this were a bad week.
Yeah. You thought you'd done bad, and then you were like, "I've only got 2 points to me," and I was thinking, "Oh, I wonder if I'm going to fly ahead of you," and I did by 1 point.
Yeah, your massive 3-pointers. So Championship back 10th of December. That's good to know.
Yeah,
but yeah, this was a bad week.
Yeah, it really was. Let's get it off screen. We don't want to see that anymore. I'll pop up on screen the predictions table.
I'd rather not see that.
Me and you.
Yeah, it's not pretty looking still for me. It's been a bad week. It's been a bad run for me the last few weeks since the last international break. So I need to get out. I need to regroup. I need to come back better.
Yeah, back stronger, as Peter Crouch would always say. Now, who did the best in the viewers?
Yeah, some of our viewers, obviously, we're talking about us having had a shocking week. 2 points for me, 3 points for yourself. Our viewers, we've actually got some really good scores. So it's not one of the regular faces either that we're seeing up at the top of the leaderboard. Somebody who I don't know if we've seen in the stream before, who certainly has not been at the top of the lead before. Logan Wright with 8 points, which is a fantastic effort from him. That's a great score this week.
Well done.
And then honourable mentions, because I think I got a score wrong last week. If she calls me out and says I got a score wrong again this week, I'm going to have a nightmare. But Shazbat, I think, was in there with 7 points, which was a great effort from her. And Wolfgang Bailey definitely deserves a shout out, because not only did he get 7 points, he also got the perfect score on Huddersfield to beat QPR, which we had called a banker. So he called us out and he was right.
He was right. And I'm glad you brought up the banker, because I was just about to mention that, because why not start it now? So let's shout out our bankers for this one. And everybody let us know in the comments when you put your... Well, to be fair, nobody's going to put in the live chat all their results. So when you get them in the comments after the stream, make sure you put a B with 2 brackets around it after your banker, and then we'll know to double that result. It's exciting. It's going to be very, very exciting. If you get the result right, you get 2 points. If you get the score right, you get a big old 6 points. That would be very, very lucky. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of explaining everything to the nth degree. Let's get into this. Let's talk about Birmingham City versus Sunderland. So, Ollie, what are you going for, Sunshine?
Banker. I'm starting off immediately with my banker.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. I didn't expect it, but when I was going through these fixtures, there is nothing that jumps out to me as being a better bet than Birmingham City are in this game. They're unbeaten in 4. Sunderland have only won 2 of their last 10. Those wins against Wigan and Huddersfield. That's not a fantastic record. Sunderland are struggling a little bit with injuries, I think. They're a team that's waiting for the break to come. And so for me, this is my home banker, 2-0. Birmingham, and James knows all about it.
Right, he does. JohnEgan.com does too. Joachim, not so much. I'll pop it up on screen right now. I've gone for a 2-1 Birmingham City win. I'm kind of agreeing with you. And just to annoy you, I might banker this one myself. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not that guy.
Be your own man, Nick.
I will be. There's a 1-1 there. There's a 2-2 there. So we've got some draws. We've got mostly Birmingham winning. And we've also got one Sunderland win from Joachim. Right, let's move on to the next one, which is Bristol City versus Watford. How are you seeing this one going, Ollie?
Interesting game, this one. No winning 5 now in all competitions for Bristol City. You know, they changed a little bit for the Carabao Cup, not as much as maybe you'd think. So that's a very disappointing loss that they had at home to Lincoln in midweek. Watford won 4 of their last 5, had a great win midweek. They're going to be buzzing as they head towards the international break for the World Cup. They're going to be thinking they've really turned it around, that they've got a proper manager and who's going to do the right job for them, that they're not going to have to sack in 3 weeks, maybe. And therefore, I don't think they're going to win because I think they've got confidence. I think they know they're a good team. I think they've turned it around. But Bristol are a better team than their results are showing. And I think they will at some point turn it around themselves. I'm going for a really good game and a 2-2 draw.
Right. Have you gone for a Bristol City draw or have you gone for a Bristol draw? Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Probably should say a Bristol City draw. You almost forgot Bristol Rovers' name altogether, then, didn't you?
No, I was too busy concentrating on something else. I was concentrating on the comments. Anyway, let's move on from that and me not paying attention to you while we're doing a live stream. I've gone for a Watford win. I'm expecting Watford to get this one. There's a few in the comments actually that have gone for a banker. I love that they're still giving us the whole B in brackets, even though I said not to. But that's absolutely brilliant. I love that. I love the intensity. So we've gone for a 2-1 and a 2-2. Next up, let's go for Cardiff versus Sheffield United. Now the Blades at the in midweek against Rotherham managed to throw it away. We weren't good. Rotherham were good. Simple as.
Yeah, you know, one for just you, Nick, I think, and anybody who follows you on Twitter. Obviously, it was their cup final. So they're going to have fun for a big game like that. Always enjoyable to hear you being shouted out on local radio and them calling you out for those kind of scandalous statements.
Yeah, I thought it was fair enough. I enjoyed that comment. I threw that comment out knowing exactly what it was going to do. And to be fair, after that, I did give Rotherham a lot of praise, but that never gets spoken about, does it? When you say nice things about people, it's always concentrate on the negativity. And that's certainly what it was. I did it for a bit of a joke, to be fair. And it definitely did stir people up the wrong way. Anyway, who cares? We don't have to play Rotherham for a long time.
Yeah, it was a really disappointing result for United midweek. They really didn't turn up. They looked leggy. They looked really tired. And for me, that was really concerning. Obviously, we put in a lot of energy and a fantastic performance to beat Burnley last weekend. But since then, we just couldn't get going at all midweek. They really need to turn up as a different side. Cardiff, it sounds as though had another poor defeat themselves midweek. They've had some selection issues recently, but it sounds like their team's coming back together. And it sounds inherently negative of me. Everyone knows I'm a United fan, but I think they're going to lose this one. And I think we're going into the World Cup on a downer.
There we go. We've gone for the opposites here. I think yours is more realistic. Mine's more head in the clouds, I think. But at the same time, it's our last game. I think everybody's going to be going gung-ho in this game, whoever you support, because this is the last game. Everyone's going to try and get 3 points and put themselves in the best position possible coming out of the World Cup. So, I've gone for a Blades win, a sneaky Blades win by 1 goal. Fingers crossed it happens for us.
Be delighted, because obviously with the other top 2 playing each other, which we'll be coming up to later on, because that's a huge game. And obviously we'll be looking at it later. But yeah, it's a good chance for United to really try and close that gap and maybe even finish in the automatics if they can get a win here. But yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, I think I threw a comment out on my live match reaction at 11:30 at night, not really thinking of who Blackburn and Burnley were going to be playing. And I says, if we win, you never know. We might be top of the league going into the World Cup. That can't happen, Nick. That can't happen. I had a sleep on it, and then I realised that whatever happens, we're 3 points behind Burnley. If Burnley get a draw or lose, then Blackburn are going to be ahead of us. Burnley get ahead of us. Yeah, It's not going to happen. We're probably not even going to win anyway. So let's move on. And let's talk about Coventry City versus Queen's Park Rangers. And QPR have hit a massive iceberg at the moment, haven't they?
Yeah, this is one team who's absolutely flying and one team who's absolutely falling, really. This is one of them where Coventry will not want to stop. They will not want this break. They're looking at their performances, looking at their team, and they are climbing. Whereas for QPR, it's been going the other way. You know, they've had no winning four now. They've only scored 1 goal during that time. Whereas Coventry, they're just 3 wins in a row, no goals conceded. That, to me, all speaks towards a home win and a low-scoring game. QPR can't score. Coventry don't concede. 1-0 Coventry.
There we go. JohnEgan.com agrees with you. Joachim agrees with you. I am very, very close to throwing my banker in on this one. And that sounds crazy with how good QPR have been, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But however, I've not thought about this before the stream. And I'm now worried looking through them thinking, I don't know who I'm going to put my banker on. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk all about Huddersfield Town versus Swansea City. And Huddersfield have started putting an odd result together.
Yeah, it was a fantastic win for them midweek. You know, we've just been talking about QPR being off form, but for Huddersfield, that is massive. Fantastic victory, and they'll really want to get another win. If they can get another win, they might be off bottom of the league going into the break. At the very least, they'll be in touching distance of safety, which will be massive for them as they come back to really try and keep themselves in this division after the break. Swansea, they're a team out of form. So Huddersfield will fancy their chances. They'll think they can take it. But personally, I don't. I think eventually quality will show. I think Swansea are a better team than Huddersfield. And that, to me, speaks to a 2-1 away victory.
Ah, there you go. And I've gone for the same, but the other way around. 2-1 Huddersfield. I think Huddersfield are on a roll at the moment. And I think they're just going to keep getting better and better. Well, no, I don't. I think they're going to do well at this moment in time. And then they'll hit a Burnley in form or something like that, and it'll knock them back down to earth. Anyway, let's move on to Hull City versus Reading. And do you know what? I'm going to throw my banker on this one. I'm going to do it. Hull City under Liam Rosenior look unstoppable for me. A 3-2 win away from home leads them perfectly into beating Reading comfortably at home, I think.
Interesting shout. Personally, you know, we had a shout out in our comments last week that the man I keep shouting out as being the saviour, Oscar Estupinian. They're actually better without him. They then followed that up by scoring 3 goals in a great away victory. So maybe they are actually better without him. And I've been shouting him out wrongly because he only scores tap-ins and deflections. But you're right. Reading are in free fall. 3 defeats in their last 4. They're down to 13th in the league. They really need a reset. They really need the break. But for me, this is just going to be dull. I think this is a boring one, not one for the neutrals, and a 0-0.
Right, you're going for a dull Hull draw then?
Hey, yes.
I'm going for a Hull.
But we'll take it.
Is that again?
It weren't great wordplay on dull Hull draw, but we'll take it.
We will take it, and we'll move on to Luton Town versus Rotherham United. I still don't mind Rotherham United, to be honest. Wednesday fans think we absolutely love them. I just don't think that it's a massive rivalry. They've beaten us. I'm more embarrassed that we've been beaten by a team that has just come up from the lower league. So, yeah, it's one of them things. I think Luton's got enough in this game, though, to take it. I'm going to throw it straight up there. I've gone for a Luton win.
Yeah, completely understand that. Completely agree with you on Rotherham. They're just another team that we play against. But they were defensively brilliant at Bramall Lane. They frustrated us. They remained organised. And when they needed him, they got a keeper who can make big saves at big moments. But for me, Luton are coming off a bad loss against Stoke. They're not going to want to lose again. I think Rotherham are a decent side. And so 1-1. And I've seen a few in the comments agreeing with me, which is nice to see.
Yeah, Joachim's thrown in a 1-0 Rotherham win or 1-0 Rotherham win. So it could happen. It could. And honestly, that's the reason why I've not thrown my banker on this, because I saw Rotherham midweek and I think they've got enough maybe to nick it. Because this is what I said in my match preview. Their match reaction, they nick a goal and they're great at defending it. So let's move on to Norwich City versus Borough. And what do you see happening in this one, pal?
Well, you know, Borough are unbeaten in 3, had a fantastic win midweek, beat Blackpool 3-0, and they're really looking up now rather than looking down. But for me, this is a step too far, and the reason for it, more than anything else, is that Norwich have had a week's rest since their victory against Rotherham. there's not been a lot of rest at all in this division recently. Everybody's tired. Everybody's feeling it. So those teams who managed to have a full week completely free of games have got a real advantage coming into this weekend. And so for me, that's enough to push Norwich over the line. I think this would be a great game, really entertaining, and a 3-2 home win.
Yeah, I'm with you too, mate. I've gone for a Norwich win as well. I think that's what we're going to see from this. And looking in the comments, I think most people are agreeing. So let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about Preston North End versus Millwall Football Club, your favourite team.
Indeed, yeah. I got really hyped around Millwall and then they've properly let me down recently. But let's focus on Preston for a minute. They are actually quite good. 3 wins in a row. They're only outside the playoffs on goal difference. They've turned it around from all this banter they had at the start.
Holland versus Preston.
Holland versus Preston. They've caught up. I don't know the full stats because it's not funny anymore, but they've caught up.
It's nowhere near as funny, is it? But
it's not funny how they've caught up.
No, fair enough.
We'll do an update after the World Cup and we'll do a full breakdown of Holland versus Preston, see where we're at. And I'm fairly confident that Preston will be ahead by that point because they've got so much better since the start of the season. Whereas Millwall have gone completely the other way. Their last 3 games is 0 goals scored, 1 goal conceded. They're obviously still very strong defensively, but are really struggling to create chances. And so, as much as I've just bigged them up, as much as I've told you the banter here is over, this game has got 0-0 written all over it.
So you're trying to say that Millwall are the new Preston?
Potentially Millwall are the new Preston.
Right, okay. Well, we will see, won't we? I've gone for a Preston win. Now, moving on to West Brom versus Stoke City. I'm thinking right now, we had a chat about this off air last week, and we were saying there must be, I keep saying Battle of the Cities, Battle of the Uniteds. We've not yet had a Battle of the Cities or Battle of the Uniteds yet. So West Brom versus Stoke, what are you going for?
Yeah, 2 home wins, 2 1-0 wins, for West Brom in a week. Fantastic against QPR, then beating others. I think it was, who did they play in the last game? Don't know, but they beat them 1-0. And then, obviously, for Stoke, they picked up a great win midweek against Luton. But I think West Brom have turned the corner. I think they're a better side than they have been. They'll want to win to get out of the relegation zone before the World Cup, and I think they'll get it at home 2-1.
Oh, okay. I'm agreeing with you. I'm thinking that West Brom's going to win this game too.
We don't do that very often.
We don't, do we? We don't. You might realise soon.
I don't like it.
You might realise soon why we don't do that too often and why we have done today. But let's move on to Wigan Athletic versus Blackpool Football Club. And what are you expecting from this game, mate?
Wigan are done for me. I've gone today. Obviously, just sacked the manager, Liam Richardson, which is crazy decision as far as I'm concerned. They have been in terrible form, but I think it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks since they gave him a new 3-year contract. He's got them out of League One when they were in a mess. They were really struggling. He stuck with them. He did a fantastic job last year. Started this season fantastically. It's hit a bad run of form and they've sacked him. And for me, they're my favourites to finish bottom. I think their goose is cooked. I think they're really going to struggle to try and turn this around. Blackpool themselves have been in rubbish form. They've lost 3 in a row. They've not scored any goals. But they're going to win this game, and they're going to win it 2-0.
I've gone for a Wigan win. I'm going for a Wigan win.
I don't like it, Nick, and I don't
just feel it. I feel it in my water. I feel it in my water. I do. It's got Wigan written all over it.
There was a part of me that was talking myself into it. You've sacked your manager. You're playing a team in bad form. You're playing a team who can't score, who keep losing. But I don't want to see it. Whether or not it might happen, I don't want to see it.
Honestly, I think that if this was anyone else, I probably wouldn't have gone for a Wigan win. But Blackpool really aren't very good right now at professional football. So that's why I've gone for a Wigan Athletic win. Now, this is the game of the weekend. Whoever you support, this is the game of the weekend. Burnley versus Blackburn Rovers. It hasn't happened for a while. It's a big derby. Let's see what comes of it. I'm going to throw it straight up there. I've agreed with you. Burnley to win this game.
Yes, Burnley definitely to win this game for me. I think they're a better team than Blackburn. Burnley are another one of those teams who've had a full week's rest. Now, Blackburn made a lot of changes to beat West Ham on penalties, admittedly. But for me, Burnley have rested. They're a better team. And even though Burnley have got a weakness. United massively exploited that weakness. Blackburn aren't bad on set pieces. I think they've scored something like 20% of their goals this season from set pieces. So they're going to try and exploit that. They're going to try and get at Burnley, really try and unsettle Muric in the net. But I think Burnley are going to have a full week just working on defence. Surely Company saw that game last week and was like, no, this is a shambles. We've got to fix it. And they've going to done a lot of work on it. And I think it'll pay off. I think they'll win this game.
Yep, I completely agree. And James Stripley's gone for a banker. Right, I'm going to pop another one on screen. Charlie Brown, 2-1 Burnley, wouldn't write off a 2-2. Completely agree. A lot of derby matches end in draws because neither team wants to lose quite a lot of the time, so I agree.
No Blackburn matches ever end in draws. Obviously, I think it was their first draw of the season last night against West Ham, and then, of course, that goes to penalties, so you can't have a draw. Blackburn don't draw games. I will be very shocked if they draw 2 in 4 days. And so, yeah, home win. If it is a draw, then something's gone wrong with the world, I think.
I agree. Now, are you ready to find out what I've done in this video that you don't know about?
No. What have you done?
Do you want to have a look at my scores?
2-1. Nice.
I've gone 2-1 in every game, and I wanted to find out if anyone would have noticed that. And we didn't. You did yourself, did you?
No, I didn't notice at all because I only focus on myself and I don't care what you've got to say.
You don't care about anyone else. You are so selfish. Yeah, I just thought 2-1 is the most common sitting on the fence scoreline. I thought I'd do it as a bit of banter and see if anyone noticed. Yeah, let's see how I do. But it's going to be a long time.
Depressing. So depressing when you beat me just doing banter scores.
To be honest, mate, yeah, I'm sick of beating you. It's just getting embarrassing now. So no, it's just a bit of a laugh. I just thought it'd be quite funny just to see if you recognise, but you didn't. You didn't. You were too busy talking about Millwall and Preston 0-0s and all that lot. Typical Ollie.
Indeed, yeah. Well, you know, if Preston are going to draw 0-0, it's big news. Big news. We have to talk about it a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why I went for the banker of Hull as well. Maybe that was a bit of a banter move as well, but I back it. I think, yeah, I think they're going to win this game. I definitely do. Anyway,
it's already on the beach. That's like there's a break coming up. We're about to go off, not do any more, and you're on the beach already. You're thinking about your holidays.
2-1. Anyway, let's leave it there. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you've gone for in your score prediction, and Ollie will shout you out in 3 weeks, a month, whenever it is. It's going to be a while. But if you want to follow either of us on Twitter, make sure you do, because we will probably have a little bit of banter if all my scores come in. And yeah, we will see you in, like I say, 2 or 3 weeks' time. Make sure you like it. We want at least 100 likes. See you next time.